Hello, fellow teens.
So, we had the survey a few months ago and we noticed a strange pattern. 30% of the responses showed low engagement. And we're here to examine why.
Welcome to Pink Freud!
So, we've all had this brick wall, no? What was it for you, Vivek?
In 10th grade, I had this pile high stack of books.
Like a legit brick wall.
Yeah, it was literally a brick wall. I was told, I have to study it. My mom would always walk in and be like, hey, do this today, do that today. I just want to pick that book up and throw it away. I was just like, it irritated me to the core knowing that she was right. Went to this PTM, teacher so politely trashed me up. I wanted to tell him, you go write the examination. You're teaching one subject to me out of the 11.
Mm-hmm.
And what irritated me more was, they were right, they've been through it.
They've written those exams.
Yeah.
The thing is, you, in the moment, it doesn't really click, they've also been through that. And the fact that they've, put themselves through that uncomfortable position themselves gives them more of a right to speak, I would say, air quotes.
Right to speak, yeah. I mean, they've probably been through what you've been through, right?
Yeah.
No, definitely been
They
through
have.
it.
They have.
Oh, what is your brick wall that you face, Nami?
For me, yeah, it's a similar thing. I had this stack of pages that I had to go through, And the thing was for me in CBSE, right? They cut through a lot of the portions, and then I was like, oh, they cut through so much. I don't have to study this. I don't have to study that. And eventually, it delved into I don't have to study anything. And then, I didn't see any of my peers. Also, I didn't see those people studying at school or doing anything at school. I was just alone by myself. And then I was like, oh, my only observer is myself. So I didn't have to push myself because I already knew where I was at. And the thing is, I didn't have that, drive to push myself beyond where I was.
Yeah, completely. It's in parallel to all this happening, I haven't met anyone in 4-5 months.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, everyone's talking to each other, I'm sure of it. Everyone's texting each other, everyone's sending each other reels, and everyone's in touch with each other. And I'm just here. I'm going to be that person. I walk into class. No one cares.
Invisibility.
Invisible. I was just afraid that the world just moved on from me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about it.
Does that bother you?
It so bothered me. And I was like, what if I call Ronak? It's just awkward. And
you'd known him for years at
I've known him
point.
for 9-10 years. And what if he just doesn't care? That fear just set into my mind. And it just spiraled. I was like, tomorrow I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to go call everyone up. Remind them that I exist.
Mm-hmm.
Just never did that.
You
didn't-
exist. Just you being yourself in class, right?
Mm-hmm.
Making fun of during the theories between business classes. I've seen that, right? That's you. And people can't forget that, Vivek.
Yeah.
That brick wall, right, of invisibility. Trust me, that's something that I feel, honestly, due respect, is something you create for yourself. That brings me to what I faced as a problem. It's a combination of both, really. I have this obsession with looking perfect, things going my way, this, that. It doesn't happen all the time.
Never.
I've always wanted to be the kid who finishes the books, gets good marks, right? But I realize right now that it's not what defines you. And invisibility as well, right? I was always wanted to crave attention. I was that fat, plumpy kid, right? Who always wanted to be out there. I used to pull pranks. I used to do all sorts of things, annoy girls, and all that. And I enjoyed it, right? But at the core of it, right? Again, I had this brick wall up in my head, which I had created for myself, which is that, no, I need to be recognized. I need to do good. I need to do that, everything. And the only time where I challenged that thought of mine was in 10th grade.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the pandemic really gave us enough time, right?
Yeah.
At home in our own space to sit and think about who are we?
Too much
And
thinking,
yeah, too much thinking,
bro. Yeah.
right? Sitting
Like,
in
you
front
need
of your
that,
screen.
like, you need someone else to, like, just cut through all that
Yeah.
self.
Do you guys ever
time.
ask yourself, right? Why am I trying to do all these things? Why don't I just stop?
Mm.
Right? And
What happens if you stop?
what happens if you stop? Then you stop functioning, and you can't. Why?
Mm.
Because it's human nature
Mm-hmm.
not to. When you don't find a motivation, right? When you don't find a reason to act, right? So for example, for you, right, probably the highest value was I need to be out there,
Yeah.
right? There's been this time where I didn't speak to anyone. Now I want this year to count, right?
You know that pressure developed on me, like, I need this year to count.
Yeah,
Like,
Count for
I relate to that.
just
Vivek.
just count. Like,
Just count, yeah.
matter.
matter. Yeah.
Socialize, get the grades right, everything.
Everything needs to be perfect, and that quest for perfection just made it imperfect.
It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen because when you go in with a fixed mindset, right, you half-ass it. It doesn't happen.
There's no
And
sugarcoating that.
for me, it was the same thing. I'm not gonna pretend here and say that I have it all figured out. During 10th grade, I'd put on so much weight, and that was all because of my hedonism and sitting at home and sitting and questioning that, like, what am I going to do in 11th grade? What is my path ahead?
Mm-hmm.
And my number one goal back then, which I even think about right now, is that it seemed quite superficial, which is like, have these six-pack cut abs,
Yeah.
And I used to go to the gym the whole time, and I missed out on the part where the real me was getting embedded in with all these abs. It didn't give me anything.
Yeah.
And at the back of it, if you realize, right, that the real you is beyond all these things.
Yeah.
Is how you just let yourself flow throughout conversations, right? So the biggest brick wall for me was clearing out other people's perceptions. Number one. Second thing was doing well, satisfying my parents. This people pleasing mindset,
Yeah.
which I admit I do have.
That's the thing, like, people pleasing mindset, right? It just, like, stems from that extrinsic,
Yeah.
like, thing. Like,
I
for
guess I'm
me,
just likable.
you see, like, your
Yeah.
parents, teachers, everyone keeps spoon feeding you, like, what to do and everything,
Yeah.
right? And once they, like, it's not their fault also. They just want to, like, they
They're
just
doing
want
their
you to
job.
succeed. Yeah. They just want you to succeed. But the thing is, like, you don't know how to succeed by yourself. You just know you have to do these things. And the thing is, you have to do it rather than you need to do it. You know?
Yeah.
There's
It has to
a
come
very
from within.
specific difference. Yeah.
So for me,
Yeah. No, like in 11th grade, okay. I remember one day, like, Namir walked into school.
mm-hmm.
First
It
day.
was early. Not even the first day, like a couple of days in, and, like, I was the first person there. And I was like, what am I going to talk to him about?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, you know what? No, let's not overthink this. Let's not strategize this at all. Like, no, it needs to be natural. It needs to be me. And, like, that pressure developed on me. I was talking to him. Okay, I'm like, it needs to be me. Yeah. And that pressure kept spiraling.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, I was like, oh, what if I'm being stupid right now?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really recognize the fact that whenever I speak to somebody, they're also themselves afraid of having a conversation to an extent.
Yeah.
Like, they're in the same shoes as I am.
What if there's an awkward conversation and a pause?
Yeah, no, what if it's awkward? What if I never talk to Namir again in my life? What if I'm, like, so afraid of talking to this dude? He's going to be in our class for the rest of the year. Next 2 years, he's going to be there. And that pressure just kept building on again and again.
What got you out of that? Because right now, we're sitting together in this room.
Yeah.
Right? You fear that what if I don't talk to you on call? What if Namir just never talks to me ever again? But we're sitting here right in this room, sitting in front of this mic, stupid mic, right? And we're talking to each
Stupid-looking
other.
mic also.
Yeah. This mic looks like Robocop, by the way.
Yeah.
And we're
Perfect.
sitting
Yeah, no.
together. So what made you get out of this mindset?
I don't know, I was just so uncomfortable in class.
Mm-hmm.
I just hated the fact that someone's sitting beside me. People are surrounding me.
Yeah, but
I
didn't
don't think
that
it's the class.
discomfort like push you into like talking more, right?
I don't know. Like, I spoke and, like, I sent memes on, like, one of our group, and, like, For the next 10 minutes, I was thinking, should I unsend it?
Yeah.
Should I unsend it? No one has liked
This
it. One
group
person
chat,
has seen
right?
it.
Yeah.
One person
It's
has
such
seen
a-
it. Okay. Should I unsend it? Like, oh, that was bad. But then after a point, it just was like, I started to speak to somebody. I didn't realize I was speaking to them. Next thing you know, I was like, tomorrow morning, I actually want to go speak to this person. I never felt that feeling ever.
That feels good, no?
It felt so good, you know. Just knowing that tomorrow I want to go talk to somebody. I'm excited to go talk to that person.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, you keep putting that, like, it will happen, it will happen, it will happen. And once it does happen, it's
You
so
don't recognize it.
You don't recognize it. And later down the line, you realize how gratifying that feeling was when you finally did the thing that you had to.
Yeah, no, like, I've never stopped and appreciated the fact that I'm literally talking to you guys in my room right now.
Yeah.
And I don't care what you guys think. Like,
It's self-acceptance.
yeah, no, like, I
It's
don't
not the class.
appreciate it.
It's within you, that feeling, you know.
Exactly. Like, right now, I'm still worried about, you know, who am I not talking to? Why don't I appreciate the fact that I'm talking to so many people?
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, like, now, especially, like, having this platform, I would say, and we're still, like, the whole point of it is it's a conversation, right?
Yeah.
And we're having this such a candid conversation. Like, I've never seen Vivek so vulnerable in my whole life.
I
like
know. You're the person who has to guard up the whole time.
Yeah.
You're man of steel.
You know, I wish that wasn't the case, honestly. And I've developed a great appreciation, and, you know, maybe like 2 years ago, I'd never show somebody that, like, oh, I'm sad. Oh, I want to cry. Like, I'd never do that. Because
But now
why
you
will
know-
I want to look like I'm weak? But then
But
I
now
actually
you've
started
gotten
to
that
realize.
point,
You see,
Yeah.
you see, beyond all these books and marks and numbers, right? This whole process helps you figure out who you are.
And once I got into that psychiatry internship, right, he was prescribing all these meds. He was, like, talking about their, like, not morphology, but, like, their physiological, like, factors within them, right? And he was talking about, like, how, like, these hormones and everything, like, affect them, and, like, these medications, like, suppress certain things and allow other things to flourish.
Right.
And then I was like, oh wow, like, this is what, like, bio is to me, right? And then I realized, like, this
That's
is
awesome.
very important to my.
For me, it was just more like need-based things. So I never thought I will pick sociology. Even now, I think, oh, I should have taken biology
I
because
should
I
have
loved
taken
it.
sociology.
You know, initially I thought that, like, it's very unfair to have, you know, just from 12th grade and then directly you go on to university and then you're into this big bad adult world, right? If I make sense of it right now, right, everything is so strategically, like, taught to you at different levels. You know, now you're taught such complex things which you probably can process and apply to later on. But I feel like even at younger grades, right, if we can look at the practicality of each thing and learn to apply it to different things, we will end up loving it. We will be end up being engaged in it instead of being lost
Get
in
the
the
greater
softball.
purpose of it.
Exactly.
You know, like, it's amazing to see you talk so passionately about subjects.
Yeah, and, like, the thing is, like, once you get that passion in the first place, right, it'll like break through any like that brick wall that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Once you find that passion, it's like the hammer against the brick wall.
Yeah, but not many people are passionate about it, right?
That's why you need to experience a lot of things so you can understand and have a better understanding of
Like,
what
yes,
you are.
yeah,
I agree.
passionate about.
We all have taken these decisions, like, oh, which subject am I going to take, like, so impulsively, like, we'll figure it out. And then, like, it hits you that
Yes, yeah.
the difference was between a thin textbook and a
know.
thick
Oh my
textbook. And just seeing that, I was like,
And sometimes it's just like, okay, what are the prerequisites of the entry?
Yeah, no, like, there are so many things that are out of your control.
Yeah.
But the fact that something is in your control makes it so much more scarier. Like, if my parents didn't have the money to fund me to go abroad, I wouldn't have worried. Like, I wouldn't have worried about it because, like, it's out of my control.
You didn't have
But
the
the fact that,
necessity.
yeah, no, like, my parents just had enough, like, send me abroad, like, just enough for me to be
That's a
comfortable.
blessing. That's a blessing.
It was a blessing, but, like, also a curse in a way that, you know, I have a choice now.
It doesn't push you, you know?
No, like, I had the choice now. No. I had the choice. Like, I could stay in India and, like, have a subpar education, go abroad, spend a lot of money, my parents' money, and maybe achieve something.
I'm so glad that you did pick that path. Even though, do you feel right now that like, what am I still doing? Am I spending this money just to get a degree for namesake?
No, am I just spending this money so I can go party abroad? Like,
Uh-huh.
I keep thinking about that. I'm like, what's the point of all this?
Doesn't that give you anxiety?
It gives me so much anxiety.
But the
Yeah.
thing is, now that like you've thought about all these things, right? You've gone to that point where like, oh, if I do like this thing, then I'll be putting my parents' money to good use, right?
No, but let's say I go abroad. I spend a lot of money on it.
It's
and
expensive.
what if I hate it? What if I just want to run back into like my parents'
But
house?
you're
Back in Bangalore?
But you're creating suffering that doesn't exist, right? You're thinking about a what if concept that you're not even sure if will
Yeah, no,
happen.
so like, I'm like, don't think about it. And the fact that I'm telling myself not to think about it is making me think more about it.
Yeah, that makes sense. See, but the thing is, you need to consider that whatever it is just a what if. And you have all power to prevent that what if. And how do you get that power? By being passionate about the things you're doing.
I agree. Let me put this very controversial statement out. I feel like doing something passionate rather than something for like money's sake, this sake, is always better.
Obviously.
I mean, like
you see all these people in like such high paying jobs,
Yeah.
so dissatisfied with what they're doing, and they switch careers midway.
I would
Like,
any
you see
day
these people with like with like med school degrees like being DJs now.
doing nothing related to what they're doing, like what they studied. And I feel any day that I would sit, I thought about this clearly. 20 years later, say for example, where do I see myself? I don't want to be some person just sitting there with one degree, right? And doing something I don't even care about, as long as I'm getting a good pay.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing something I'm passionate about, I can go back happy, right? That's all that I care about.
Vivek, see, if you're gonna chase perfection rather than an experience, right? You're gonna just make yourself feel bad about it, you know? And just having that like that iron mindset of what you're going to do is going to help a lot.
Well, hey, guys, I have to say, this is an amazing conversation.
Yeah. And I don't think we can cover everything in just such short time. I don't think so at
We
all.
can't.
Yeah.
But anyway, hey, thank you guys for listening. That was me, Vivek.
Namir
Ronak.
and we're Freud.
And
See you next time, guys.
Bye.
Bye bye.